Most of us are scared of the parts of ourselves that society might find unacceptable. That's the truth. To cope, we split our psyche into two parts: the conscious and the unconscious. In the conscious half, we construct an ideal image of ourselves from the bits and pieces of our past that we deem good and acceptable. This image is what we show to the world and even to ourselves. But there's another side to this story. The unconscious half harbors all the parts of us we deem bad and unacceptable. Carl Jung called this repressed part of our personality the shadow. This shadow includes our darkest fears, desires, and weaknesses. It's the part of us we don't want to face. But unless we integrate this shadow into our personality, we can never reach our fullest potential. The consequences of repression. When we ignore our shadow, we live in a fragmented state. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you've solved a few math problems and convinced yourself you're a great mathematician. Your friends invite you to join their math club, but you're scared. Why? Because if you join, you'll have to confront the reality that you're not as great as you thought. You'd rather cling to the ideal image of yourself than face your weaknesses. But by doing this, you lose the opportunity to actually become a great mathematician. This avoidance leads to a life of regret and missed opportunities. You'll always remain incomplete, fractured, and partial. Living in this fantasy might feel safe and comfortable, but it's an illusion. To achieve real growth, we need to face our fears and accept all parts of ourselves. This state of repression isn't just an abstract concept. It manifests in our daily lives. People who ignore their shadow often experience anxiety, depression, and a constant sense of unease. They might struggle with relationships, as the parts of themselves they refuse to acknowledge often project onto others, causing misunderstandings and conflicts. By not addressing these hidden aspects, we limit our capacity for genuine connection and understanding. Embracing the shadow. So how do we embrace our shadow? It starts with self-reflection and honesty. Joining that math club, metaphorically speaking, means confronting the parts of ourselves we've hidden away. If you join, you'll discover your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you're not great at geometry, but you excel in differential equations. This process of self-discovery is painful in the short term, but in the long run, it opens up the possibility of true growth. You can improve your skills and genuinely become a great mathematician. Integrating the shadow means accepting our flaws and understanding that they are a part of us. It's about realizing that our weaknesses do not define us, but they do shape our journey. This acceptance leads to greater self-awareness and self-compassion. When we stop fighting our shadow, we can harness its energy in positive ways. For example, acknowledging our fears can help us develop courage and resilience. Recognizing our weaknesses allows us to seek help and improve, rather than living in denial and stagnation. The comfort of potential versus the reality of actuality. We often prefer to live in the realm of pure potential. We tell ourselves we could be anything we want, but we don't actively work towards it. This is because when we start working towards something, we face the reality of our abilities. We're measured, ranked, and quantified. This reality can be less pleasurable than our ideal fantasy, but it's real. And only in reality can we make genuine improvements. The allure of potential is seductive. It's a world where everything is possible and nothing is tested. But staying in this state is ultimately unfulfilling. We might dream of being artists, athletes, or scholars, but without taking concrete steps, these dreams remain fantasies. By engaging with reality, we learn, grow, and achieve. The path to actualizing our potential is paved with effort, failure, and perseverance. It's a challenging journey, but it's the only way to transform our dreams into reality. The path to self-acceptance and improvement. The journey to self-improvement begins with self-acceptance. Only by embracing and integrating our shadow can we reach our fullest potential. By accepting the ugly parts of ourselves, we become who we're meant to be. But if we reject our shadow, if we pick and choose the parts of our past, personality and behavior that we like and repress the parts we fear, we become incomplete and partial. Instead of living a full, whole life, we live one full of regrets. Self-acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It's about recognizing where we are and using that as a starting point for growth. It's a dynamic process that involves continuous learning and adaptation. When we accept ourselves fully, we become more resilient and open to change. We can set realistic goals and work towards them without the burden of unrealistic expectations. This balanced approach leads to sustained personal development and a more fulfilling life. So, it's up to you. Will you embrace your shadow or reject it? Would you rather fail in actuality or succeed in mere hypotheticals? Remember, embracing your shadow and facing your true self is the only way to achieve real growth and fulfillment. It's time to stop living in the shadows and start living your best life. Conclusion: integrating our shadow is crucial for living an authentic and fulfilling life. By acknowledging our repressed fears, desires, and weaknesses, we transform these aspects into strengths and opportunities for growth. This courageous journey leads to deeper self-awareness, richer relationships, and the realization of our true potential. Embracing our shadow allows us to step out of the illusion of potential and into the reality of genuine self-improvement. Reflect on what aspects of yourself you've been avoiding and consider how accepting them can lead to a more complete and fulfilling life.
Check the pinned comment for much more. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the Highwaken channel to receive more real valuable content. See you later.